Is war good? No, never. You perhaps ask this question because you have never seen war at close quarters, nor have you ever reflected deeply on war. Wars you see in movies are glorified enactments of fantasies. Wars you read in history textbooks are numbers and dates. And wars fought on video games, they don't get you to hear the moans and cries of people who are wounded because you gunned them down. What is the reality of war? Violence, loss of life, maiming, destruction of property, and broken dreams. It is only a very sick mind that can want war or instigate war. No war victory leads to lasting happiness other than in fantasy stories. Wars usually end in bitterness, looting, children being orphaned, refugees, and exploitation. Do you think an act as brutal as this is necessary for the show of strength? Then comes the question, is war necessary? This is an extremely complex question because you may be a perfectly peace-loving people, but you might get invaded by a violent neighbor. Then going to war to protect oneself, to protect millions of innocent citizens, becomes your dharma or right action. Let us remember that war must always be the final act of self-defense. Every citizen of the country must bow their heads in respect for those who are standing on the frontiers, laying their lives to keep us safe. But that is not enough. If you truly value their sacrifice, practice living with a peaceful consciousness every day of your lives. Remember, individual peace becomes world peace. Individual consciousness steeped in conflict and violence erupts as global violence. If the dharma or right action of a soldier is to lay his life to protect the nation, the dharma or the right action of the citizens is to live with a non-violent consciousness. That is why it is the same Mahabharata where Sri Krishna encourages Arjuna to fight that also speaks of ahimsa, paramo dharmaha on various occasions. Ahimsa, or living with a non-violent consciousness, is an immense act of courage and not cowardice. It is not weakness, it is a sign of maturity. Who else would know this better than us, the people of ancient Bharatavarsha? We are not a recent nation. We are a very ancient nation. We have never been a warmongering nation which went to conquer other people's lands or riches in our long history, except maybe once, during the times of Cholas. Do you know that even today the Indian armed forces are not desirous of ever going for offensive war? They only rise to defend when threatened. Do you know we are one of the most powerful armed forces in the world? World over, there is an immense respect for the Indian soldiers' dedication and fearlessness in combat. Our soldiers are ranked the highest. In the ultimate analysis, war is evil. But when war becomes inevitable, you will have to respond to the challenge with total preparedness. Just as at the beginning of the Mahabharata war, Sri Krishna blew the Panchajanya only after Bhishma blew his conch first, in readiness for whatever life may throw across.